What is going on, my loves? Welcome back to Soul Body Balance TV. I hope you guys are having a beautiful day so far. This video finds you incredibly well. Today is one of those days where I get to kind of speak my mind, and those of you who are sweet enough to be here watching this video right now get to listen. So today I want to talk a little bit on the topic of something that I was seeking very thirstily last year. I spent a lot of my first year in the whole spiritual realm and I guess in spirituality, searching for enlightenment and like liberation and all these things that all of these different philosophies and religions speak of. In yoga it's known as samadhi, or moksha. In Buddhism it's known as nirvana. So all these different topics that talk about this beautiful place that is so blissful and it's magnificent and there's no suffering and all of this amazing stuff. And part of my first year in spirituality was directed towards that. I wanted to find this place of bliss and amazingness that all these different philosophies kept talking about. So I went traveling. I kind of, I guess, chose to escape this world, because if you really think about it, when you're traveling, you're not really living real life. You're kind of living a life where, even though there's suffering, in the sense of like little struggles here and there, you're kind of just living a very flowy, smooth sailing life. And even though when you're traveling there's little challenges here and there, it's nothing compared to the struggles that we face in our day-to-day life here in the real world. So I went traveling, and I can definitely say I found this bliss that I guess most people talk about when they talk about enlightenment. I definitely, I wouldn't say that I was enlightened, but what I'm saying is that I was just in a place where there was no worries, there was no fears, there's no struggle. Like, I was just so happy and so blissed out because I was surrounded by such beautiful culture all the time and all these different amazing places, and I wasn't really on a schedule, and all the commitments that I really had was just keeping up with my social media and the few clients that I had online. So when I came back here to the States and I felt very called to stay here and ground myself here, I realized that one of the main reasons why I felt compelled to stay here was because I knew that even though traveling was so beautiful and it was so amazing, I didn't really feel very purposeful with what I was doing. And even though my purpose at that time and place was to experience and dive deeper into myself and learn more about myself so I can then come here and share with you guys what I learned, I just didn't feel very purposeful. And I think a big part of me wanting to stay here was that it was just that part of my soul craving that sense of creativity and sharing and feeling like I was making an impact in some way or another here in this world, because I just felt like when I was traveling I didn't really have that much time to focus on other people, and it was very much selfless. So when I came back, it was like, okay, I'm ready to like share everything that I've learned, and I want to express it all, and I want to show everyone like how they can live a more simple, happy, fulfilling life. And there was just this big part of me that felt very called to do that. So being back here and starting to move towards that vision and trying to create new things so I can then share everything that I have learned has shown me so much about myself, and just really putting everything that I learned during my travel time and during all the work that I've been doing last year with spirituality, it has been putting all of that to work. Because now being here and having to pick up the pace with things and having to get into new projects and wanting to get into new projects and being a little bit more consistent and more present on social media has definitely challenged all of that. And I felt myself getting lost and found again, and it's a constant battle of going back and forth, because I get so wrapped up in that I forget to do the little things that are what keep me grounded and keep me focused and centered and aligned with my higher being. So that's reminded me of what the true meaning and the true importance of spirituality really is in our lives. It's not so much to become enlightened, it's not so much to go to heaven or go to hell, you know, like our only worry right now in this moment should be to be here in this world, because we were put here in this world for a reason, because we have a purpose within this world. Our soul chose to come here, it chose to incarnate this body, it chose your family, it chose your friends, it chose everything that you're experiencing in this moment for a reason, because there is something for you to learn within that. So being able to recognize that and accepting the fact that your purpose is to be here right now and not to be somewhere else through spirituality is such an important thing, because then you're able to kind of get past that point and remove yourself from that place where you can kind of get stuck in like trying to live in like all that bliss and that happiness, and just trying to let go of all these worldly attachments like I did. And you know, I was there, I went traveling with a backpack for 8 months. I had nowhere to live. I was just going from place to place. If you're wondering how I afforded this, I had money saved. So that is how. Having my online business as well through fitness and holistic lifestyle coaching, I was able to maintain myself as well, but most of it was definitely from savings, because I was barely working during this time. So, you know, I was there, I let go of everything that would cause suffering or attachments, and I just really freed myself. And it just drove me to a point of being like, okay, so I don't feel very purposeful. I don't feel like I'm doing my duty and my job here in this world. And that's why when I came back, it was like, okay, like I'm ready to dive into it and just get my feet dirty and remember what it's like to have bad days, because you might get really wrapped up in your life some days and you just get lost and you forget and you get really busy and you don't have the time to maybe sit down and have a dinner, and you don't have the time to maybe go out and walk in nature. But that's what I'm getting at with the importance of spirituality. You know, it's one, to be able to connect with your higher being, with God, source, the force, the universe, whatever you believe in. It's being able to tap into that and connect and communicate with that, so you're able to understand what your purpose is here in this world, and then acting from that higher place, so you're able to actually live out the life that was made for you, and not live the life that was constructed for you by your parents, your teachers, your friends, not living out this life that was constructed by your surroundings, and instead living the life that was chosen for you by your soul, by your higher being. I always say we are spiritual beings having a human experience. Our spirit has come here because it wants to grow, it wants to evolve, and the only way for you to be able to do that is to actually get your feet dirty in this world. And it's been a hard thing to come to terms with, because I just had such a different perspective on it. I was like, I just want to meditate all day, and I want to not have any desires, and I don't want to have any attachments, and I don't want to get into a relationship, and I don't want to own or have a lease. I don't want to own anything. I left Canada and I just left everything behind, and I was like, I don't want anything right now. Like, I just want to be free. I don't want to attach myself to anything, because that is the only way that I can be happy. But that's not true. Happiness is within us, and it's a choice that we make every single day. You know, whether things are going really bad or they're going really good, you have to choose to be happy and understand that, like I said, your soul is choosing everything that is happening for you, because it has a lesson to learn within that in order for it to continue to evolve and grow, just like everything else needs to evolve in this world, in this universe. You know, you don't see a flower just arise out of nowhere perfectly bloomed and you don't see it not die. Like, everything, there's cycles that we have to go through in order for everything to continue moving in its divine order. So we are part of that, and being able to realize that through spirituality and understanding that we don't need it because we're trying to get to heaven. We don't need it because we're trying to liberate ourselves, because that is death. I'm very thankful for a friend that helped me like really get a lot of clarity on this. So it's really important to have people in your journey that just support you and are vibrating at the same wavelength as you. But also Ram does, because he's just given me so much. Ram does, Alan Watts as well, just giving me so much clarity on this topic. Things you don't want to get to that place, because that place isn't here on this earth, and like I've said, your purpose is here on this earth. So through spirituality we can connect to that higher power that knows what we're here for, and through spirituality we can stay grounded. We can avoid getting lost in the illusions of this world, such as wanting to have so much power, wanting to own every material thing that you don't need, feeling like you need to compare to other people, jealousy, anger, greed, all of those little things. That is the importance of spirituality, is staying grounded in your truth, in your center, knowing what you're here for, remembering that you are a being that is made of light You come from literal light. That is what is within you. So remembering that, and remembering that every single other emotion that you feel is not you. It's all constructed by this world and the mind and the things that, I guess, keep us here in the world. So it's not to detach. It's not to go meditate for hours in a cave and have no desires, because if it was that, then we wouldn't be anywhere right now. We wouldn't get anywhere. If there was no desires, then there would be no such thing as this current world. We would just all sit and not do anything. We might as well be rocks. So it's not attaching to these things, it's committing to them and understanding that you're committed because it's something that you feel called to do, and you're not attached to it because your sense of worthiness don't belong on anything outside of yourself, and it's something that's already within yourself. So allow yourself to enjoy this world. Allow yourself to have the balance to go out for a drink once in a while. Allow yourself to work if you need to work. Do whatever you feel like it is that you need to do, but just make sure that everything that you take part in is in alignment with that little voice that is within your heart, that whenever you're making a decision, it feels right within your heart. And as long as you're doing that, you may not even know it, but you're being spiritual. You might not consider yourself a religious or a spiritual person. They're complete different things, by the way. But believe it or not, that is being spiritual. Going out and admiring nature, that is being spiritual. It's all things that bring you back to yourself and bring you back to your essence. That way you can continue moving forward in this world with more clarity, with more alignment with your higher being. And the more that you're in alignment with that higher being, the more you'll feel like you're flowing in this life instead of constantly crashing against the waves. So these are just little realizations that I make that I love to share with you guys, because I feel like if I'm experiencing this, there must be someone out there who's also maybe feeling this way. So I hope this helps someone out there. Thank you so much for joining me and watching this video, giving me some of your time and your energy. I appreciate that. I love you so much, and I hope you have a beautiful day. Mwah.